Hi, everyone. Today, what we're going to talk about is what we call the big 8 areas of life. And the reason these are important is because, well, for one reason, Gallup tracks 5 of these 8, and they have for like 30 years. And what they found is the better people are doing in the 5 areas that they track, the higher their well-being. So for us, when we're planning the year ahead, right, we want to at least consider these big 8 areas in our planning framework. So let's take a look at what they are. First one is, and this is not in any real order, but relationships, health and fitness, okay, spirituality, career or work, okay, community, money, personal development, and then just the stuff goals. Okay, this is just stuff: house, car, maybe the level of organization and cleanliness, that type of thing. Personal development, right, could include how many books you read per year, how many courses you take, what are you doing to develop yourself. Money, right, that's not just making money, but managing money, investing money, the whole area of finances. Community is your connection to the larger society that you live in. And whether you might do volunteer work or whatever that is, you could be a coach for a little league ball club. Career, okay, that's what we do with our time. Okay, we normally think of it as job, but it could be much broader than that. And even if for someone that's retired, they still can have a career it's how they spend their time every day. That's basically a good definition. Spirituality, okay, connection to God, connection to higher purpose, connection to source, however you want to phrase it, that's spirituality. Health and fitness, right? How is the health? How is the fitness? And also, right, the mental aspects of health and fitness that go along with it. Mental health, emotional well-being, all those things could fit into this category. And then relationships. That is our close relationships. Friends, family, significant other, etc. So what we want to do for today is we want to take each one of, and by the way, let's say, you don't want to consider one of the categories. Just take it off the list, right? Just say, well, stuff's not that important to me. I don't need to do it. I would argue that most of these, though, are important, and I would leave them on unless you really have an objection to it. Or let's say we've missed something here and you want to add a category for your personal plan, feel free to do that. But what we want to do today is we want to go through the big 8, and we want to find out underneath that what roles do we play in each area, and we want to identify that. And also, by the way, let's say you get to a category and you're not playing a role, but you think you want to do that, then add that in with an asterisk and put that into your list. So let's just take one for example. Let's look at relationships. What roles could people potentially be playing with relationships? And we'll do a little mind map, if you will, with relationships at the center. Okay, and then the roles branching off of that. So you could be a friend, maybe to more than one person. Okay, you might also be a drinking buddy, which I consider different than a friend, right? Drinking buddy is someone you might hang out with, but it's different than a true friend. You might be a spouse, You could be a spouse, you could be a husband, you could be a wife, etc. You could be a parent. Okay, that's an important role. Again, treeing back up to relationships, all of these roles are potential roles that you could play. You could be a soulmate. Imagine that. Imagine if you had that level of a deep relationship as an actual soulmate. Your best friend. So you got friends and you got best friends. People that you've been connected with for years, maybe all your life, right? They kind of fall into a different category. But we want to identify all these roles so that when we're doing our plan, we're making sure we're covering all of our bases and that we're actually looking at, what are the good stuff, what's the bad stuff when we start pulling out these things from last year. And again, let's say you're not a parent, but you think, well, you know what, that's something we want to focus on that. We put an asterisk there so that you remember to consider that. So again, the big relationship category has all these subcategories, which are the roles, and every one of the big 8 we want to do this for as well. Okay, so under money, for instance, you might be an investor. You might have the role of saving money. You have the role of making money. You have the role of wise spending, etc. So that's for today. That's the assignment. And I will say this, don't get discouraged, right? Because according to 5 areas that Gallup tracks, they found that I think it's like less than 2% of everyone that they've surveyed every year for 30 years, less than like 2% are really getting after it in all 5 of the areas that they're tracking. Okay, so low well-being means that's pretty low. Our goal is to raise our well-being, and the best way to do that is to focus. And one of the best ways to do that is what we're doing, is focusing on it, creating goals, and then executing on the goals. So that's kind of the big picture where we're going here. So thank you, and I will see you tomorrow.